Good afternoon and welcome to Lariat TV News Today. I'm Elizabeth Tharp.
And I'm Bailey Bramer. Thanks for joining us. The nation is mourning the passing of one of the world's most influential religious figures. Evangelist Billy Graham died Wednesday at his home in North Carolina. LTVN's Riley Sievers met with a professor in Truett Seminary to hear about Graham's life, legacy, and impact.
America's pastor Billy Graham died on Wednesday at age 99. He was known around the world for his crusades, which began in 1947. According to Graham's obituary, he held crusades in more than 185 countries and territories, reaching over 215 million people. Graham was also a familiar face at Baylor. He spoke in Waco Hall for the first time in 1951 and received an honorary doctor's degree of divinity from Baylor in 1954. Graham visited campus 2 more times in 1962 and in 1970. George W. Truett Endowed Chair of Preaching and Evangelism, Dr. Joel Gregory, said Graham was so influential because he built a movement based on theological evangelism, and it's not likely that we will ever see an evangelist use crusades and stadium preaching as Graham did again.
Anyone who ever went to one of those knew that something you couldn't explain happened. I've said it. You can't explain it. There's no human explanation for what happened. He would preach, and he himself said he was not in the classical sense a great preacher. His sermons were of his own kind, and he said, but when he gave an appeal for people to come to Christ, they came by the thousands and thousands.
Graham wrote in his 1997 autobiography, Just As I Am, "I know that soon my life will be over. I thank God for it, and for all He has given me in this life, but I look forward to heaven." Reporting for Lariat TV News Today, I'm Riley Sievers.
Less than an hour before he was scheduled to be executed Thursday, former Baylor student Thomas Bart Whitaker learned he'd been granted clemency by Governor Greg Abbott. The Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles unanimously decided on Tuesday to recommend a life sentence for Whitaker. He was given the death penalty for planning to have his family killed in a staged burglary and murder-for-hire scheme in 2003. The motive was a $1.5 million inheritance. His father pleaded with the governor to halt the execution. Bart Whitaker told prison officials he is thankful for the decision and agreed to spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole.
16 defendants have been added to the lawsuit against a Baylor University fraternity regarding an alleged rape that occurred at an off-campus Phi Delta Theta party 2 years ago. The additions are part of a lawsuit filed earlier this month, which now includes a total of 24 fraternity-affiliated defendants. Of the 16 new defendants, 6 are current Baylor students, 9 are Baylor graduates, and 1 is a former student, according to university spokeswoman Lori Fogelman. Baylor is not a party in the suit and therefore declined to comment. Since the incident, the university has suspended its Phi Delta Theta chapter. A copy of the lawsuit and the named defendants are on our website at baylorlariat.com.
Police are warning students to be on the alert after several vehicle burglaries around campus. On Monday, the Baylor University Police Department responded to an incident of vehicle theft at the Quadrangle Apartments located at 1825 South 4th Street. The department said this is not the first time this has happened. Several vehicles have reportedly been broken into previously at the same location. Baylor Chief of Police Brad Whitgall said that there has been an increase in vehicle-related crimes in several communities within McLennan County. Whitgall said students should remember to remove valuables from their cars and report anything they think is suspicious to police.
Baylor is making strides to increase global engagement among its students. Beginning this spring, a new quality enhancement program will be implemented for the next 10 years. It's called Global Baylor, Addressing Challenges to Human Flourishing. It includes 4 initiatives aimed at expanding the global impact within the Baylor student body. They are Global Challenges, Enhanced International Travel Experiences, Diversity Abroad, and Global Baylor. Baylor's Vice Provost for Global Engagement, Dr. Jeffrey Hamilton, says that global health is an important topic in every department. Hamilton wants the Baylor student body to experience different cultures and languages, which will play a key role in the Baylor identity.
You know, Bailey, I think Baylor is a beautiful campus, but I also think that there is room for improvement.
You know, a lot of students agree with you, and they've said that they'd like a more diverse student body and a more diverse faculty. We've got more details about how Baylor is making strides to improve this when we come back.
It's not just a school to me, it's home.
Home.
Everyone's there to help you and to see you succeed.
Challenging.
Challenging.
Like, I'm here, I can do this.
Friends.
Friendship.
Relationships.
There's people that know you and people that are there for you around every corner.
It's the shared experience. Rigorous. Growth.
Transformative. Tradition.
Tradition.
Faith.
Faith.
I've loved every second of it. It's family.
It's home.
It's Baylor.
You may have noticed some people walking around campus with red X's on their hands. Meredith Aldis tells us the meaning behind those marks.
Students on campus wore red X's on their hands to shine a light on human trafficking in support of the #EndIt movement.
We all put X's on our hands, and the whole goal is that you'll put it on social media, you'll wear it all day, and you'll answer questions. So if someone says, hey, why do you have a red X on your hand? You can talk about trafficking, you can talk about slavery, and tell them new ways to get involved.
The chapter of International Justice Mission, which is an anti-slavery and anti-trafficking organization, has 3 main goals: advocacy, fundraising, and prayer.
It just kind of hit my heart really hard because the girls that they were talking about were my same age, and I was not living a life that they were living.
Last year, there were 324 million social media posts about the #EndIt movement.
Just such a successful way of getting the word out, and so it's people, average everyday people like us, but also all of these different celebrities that have these huge social media platforms that are able to reach millions and millions of people and bring awareness to the horrors of human trafficking.
Monday through Wednesday on campus next week, IJM will hold a campaign called Rally for Freedom. For LTVN Today, I'm Meredith Aldis.
Baylor is working to improve diversity on campus through a partnership with the school's Campus Diversity Committee. The group, which works with the Office of the President, said it seeks to ensure an academic environment that welcomes, recognizes, respects, and celebrates the personal heritage of all campus constituents. The committee does this by hosting various events throughout campus, such as the Cultural Connection Celebration and this year's Black Heritage Banquet. The university said this is a part of what they call cultural humility, a way of recognizing the many cultures on campus. The committee said it also seeks to bring awareness to those with disabilities and learning accommodations.
After a year-long process, Baylor has added the American Association of University Women's Club to its list of extracurricular opportunities, thanks to the help of sophomore journalism major Diana O'Quinn.
I want to draw in members regardless of race or gender or identity or sexual orientation or faith, whatever. And I'll just kind of unite and discuss issues that are targeting women globally.
The AAUW empowers women to be individuals within their university and allows them to create a community with one another. The association's mission is to allow women to feel empowered to make a difference. The club will have weekly meetings on Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. in the Creekmore Conference Room in Jones Library.
New Student Programs is looking for students to become Welcome Week leaders. The group's assistant director, Trip Perks, said Welcome Week leaders play a special role in making Baylor feel like home for incoming students. Leaders are asked to attend training a few days before the start of Welcome Week in order to learn their leadership styles, walk through the schedule, and discover different techniques for leading groups. Students who are interested can get an application from Baylor's New Student Programs website. The application deadline is midnight Sunday.
There is a new group on campus encouraging students to write and read Christian poetry. LTVN's Meredith Aldis caught up with the group's founder to hear more.
The dreary weather did not stop Liv Nortillo from performing spoken word at Common Ground's open mic night on behalf of her newly founded slam poetry group, Ivory Lion Poetry.
It's basically a group where we come together to write and to speak about the truth that Jesus has spoken into our lives and what he's done in and through us.
Nortillo founded Ivory Lion Poetry, which is a Christian creative writing group. She encourages more people to share their own personal stories in the future.
That's why I'm doing it so often, so other people can kind of see that, get an idea for it, see if that's something they want to do. They don't have to do it.
At open mic night, Nortillo shared her poem she wrote about being a Christian and struggling with anxiety and depression for over 13 years.
You are not stuck. You
are not trapped or in the belly of a beast. You have not been swallowed whole or dragged down to the depths of the dark, and you are not alone, my dearest child, for I am with you.
The Ivory Line Poetry Group meets weekly at Common Grounds. For Lariat TV News Today, I'm Meredith Aldis.
You know, it's a lot of fun cheering on the Bears, and we have a lot of passionate fans at our Baylor sporting events.
You are absolutely right, Bailey, and Branson Hardcastle has the story on two superfans who you may recognize. Coming up next with sports.
It's not just a school to me, it's home.
Home.
Everyone's there to help you and to see you succeed.
Challenging.
Challenging.
Like, I'm here, I can do this.
Friends.
Friendship.
Relationships.
There's people that know you and people that are there for you around every corner.
It's the shared experience. Rigorous. Growth.
Transformative. Tradition.
Tradition.
Faith.
Faith.
I've loved every second of it. It's family.
It's home.
It's Baylor.
Team USA earned 9 more medals this week in the Winter Olympics, pushing the Americans into 4th place in the medal count with 21. 8 of those have been gold, and one of the most notable ones came from women's hockey. America's team outlasted the Canadians in the shootout to win 3-2. It's the first women's hockey gold since 1998. The men's curling team has a chance to take home the gold medal as they face Sweden on Saturday, and Red Gerard will compete in the men's big air snowboarding on Saturday as well. The Winter Olympics will conclude Sunday. Many people consider themselves fans of Baylor men's basketball, but I talked to 2 super fans who take their love for the Bears to the next level.
If you've been to a Baylor basketball game, you've probably seen these 2 fans. Chris Fuentes and Ashley Hodge are friends who have made it a mission to energize the crowd and make the Farrell Center a tough place to play.
We don't want it to be something to where, we're trying to be the center of attention, but we want to help create a better home atmosphere.
Fuentes hasn't missed a home game since 1999 and has kept his energy and passion for basketball since then, too. His outfit has changed very little throughout the years, but some of the most recognizable parts of the outfit are the shooting sleeves and his towel.
And when Aaron Bruce was here, he was the first jersey that we released. And so I had it. And then the arm sleeves came in. I actually had Corey Jefferson give me a sleeve, and so I wore those when he gave them to me. But I've had a version of the towel that I swing around since '99.
Hodge is most known for his comical signs that he directs at the refs. He began using them 3 years ago, and they have been a staple ever since.
I was just looking for something to bring energy to the arena, and so I thought making these signs would be a good way to do it. The refs can see them because I'm close enough to the action, and I'm able to communicate with them this way.
Hodge has been a fan through the ups and downs of the Baylor basketball program, but has been more dedicated during the Scott Drew era.
I graduated from Baylor in 1992, so we had a lot of lean years, but what Scott Drew has done has been unbelievable. It's like a dream come true for a basketball fan.
You can catch Hodge and Fuentes at Baylor basketball games seated just a few rows behind the opposing team's bench. They try to bring energy to every matchup with their in-game antics and signs. Reporting for Lariat TV News Today, I'm Branson Hardcastle.
Baylor's acrobatics and tumbling team made history this week as the first school to sweep the NCATA Weekly Awards. Junior Sierra Gray and Kaylee Adams, along with freshman Morgan Kellum, took home the honors. They were named the NCATA Player, Specialist, and Freshman of the Week. This is Adams' second weekly honor of the season, and now Baylor has won 4 weekly awards this season, which ties their previous record set last year. The Bears will face number 2 Oregon at home this Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Farrell Center. The Baylor baseball team is in California this weekend, taking on number 11 UCLA in a 3-game series. The Bears are 2-1 this season and face a tough task against the 4-0 Bruins. This is the first meeting between the teams since 2013, when Baylor fell to UCLA in a 3-game series. Baylor pitchers limited Houston Baptist hitters to a 138 average this past weekend and will look to continue their stellar mound performances against the Bruins. Baylor Track and Field heads north for the 2018 Big 12 Indoor Championship today and Saturday in Ames, Iowa. For the first time ever, the women's team will go into the meet as defending champions. The Lady Bears are returning 8 All-Big 12 performers from last season, including first-place finishers senior Kiana Hahn and junior Kiana Horton. The men, who finished 7th last season in Ames, returned 6 All-Big 12 performers to the event. Junior Will London, who runs the 400-meter race, is currently the only Baylor athlete who is qualified for national competition. And that's sports for this Friday.
And that's Lariat TV News today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.